Hey guys, first video I've ever made to YouTube, so apologies in advance for the quality and no editing, but this is like my fourth video that I've made for this, and I get timed out because it's longer than 10 minutes, so I'll try and go super fast. This is a Vaal Lightning Strike build based off of Rage. Looks like this. Constant Vaal Lightning Strikes on demand. There's a YouTube creator called SebK, S-E-B-K, on YouTube. This is largely based off of what he's doing. So all the credit goes to him. Everything, how it all works, the brains behind it, him. I saw him make the video and I wanted to play this so bad because I mean, look at this. It's freaking sweet. Damage is absurd. That's Uber XR. Your CPU will blow up, but that's what makes Poe fun, right? It's just chaos. But anyways, in his video, it's just really expensive, and I didn't want to get all that currency to then play it. I wanted to play it a lot quicker. So kind of how it works is, well, first, go to his video to learn the mechanics and how it all works, because he's going to go into way more detail. I'll give you a very brief, quick overview, and then a solution that's a lot cheaper that I used. So you're going to need an N11 link. You need the enchant where your socketed Vaal skills have reduced soul gain prevention so that there's no cooldown from when you can use it. You then have Hate Forge to make it so our Vaal skills require rage instead of souls. And then we have Vengeful Cry, which is a war cry that you can use when you take a savage hit that regenerates rage. And we use Forbidden Right to hit ourselves to proc the savage cry. So we cast Forbidden Right. We can now use it, that war cry. Now we have rage, and now we have Vaal Lightning Strike. Money. It's a lot of fun. That's like the mechanics. So in his video, he has, Sublime Vision, Purity of Fire. It's 2 mirrors. Like it's expensive stuff, and the video got me hyped. I wanted to play it before I got that. So what I did is I flip-flopped everything from Purity of Fire to Purity of Ice. So we get a Sublime Vision of Purity of Ice. And before I jump into this, we use a Doriani's for our lightning resistance to be super low so that we can give that to monsters, which means our other resistances, fire and lightning, we would typically have to have a bunch of fire or cold resistance or else we're going to get boned. But we use some tech to transfer it all to one element. The element that he uses, which is better, that's why it's 2 mirrors. I didn't want to wait, like I said, I didn't want to wait that long, so I used Purity of Ice. So we have 30% of fire and lightning damage taken as cold damage. So there's 30% there. We use this Watcher's Eye, make sure it's divine to 20. 20% of fire and lightning damage taken as cold damage. We're rocking it 50% here. And then we use this Glorious Vanity to get 50% of elemental damage taken as chaos damage. So now we have 100% of damage, either cold or chaos. I guess 50 cold, 50 chaos, right? So your fire and lightning, doesn't matter what they are, if they're negative 200 or 0. It doesn't matter because it's getting transferred to chaos and cold. So that's kind of like the tech. And so when I got to this point with playing the build, there were a lot of people in my situation that didn't have the money for it but really wanted to do it. And kind of what the hiccup that a lot of people ran into is your chaos resistance. If your chaos resistance is too high, your Forbidden Right doesn't do enough damage to proc your Vengeful Cry. And so with the cheaper version, when we use a Divine Flesh, 50% of elemental damage taken is chaos damage. If you don't have good chaos damage, you're going to get boned. So what we did is we take Glorious Vanity, we move it over here so that we can socket this right there, or we can get the Divine Flesh node right there. But the workaround is your Light of the Meaning with Chaos Resistance, and you're gonna get enough passives in here to where your Chaos Resistance is ideally like 45 or 50. Remember, my gear and my passives are for Purity of Fire, not Purity of Ice. Purity of Fire is the expensive one, Purity of Ice is the cheap one. And so what I did is, just so I can show you guys a little bit of a balancing act. What I did is you would just get some more passives in this. You can go right here for multi. Over here, if you want to start using Lightning Strike, even though, and not the Vaal Lightning Strike, but our Chaos Resistance, we're at 46. And remember, half of the damage that's elemental is chaos. So you need to have this number like right around here. So that way when we use Progenesis, we're at 75, or ideally 80, because we have 5 more from Divine Flesh, if I were to have it socketed. So yeah, the workaround is Light of the Meaning. Have this, get enough passives in the radius to play with your Chaos Resistance to where we're at a healthy spot of when we use Progenesis, you're at 75, 80, because you'll pretty much be capped out the entire time when you're mapping for sure. And then in bosses, you guys just saw me kill Uber Exarch in a couple seconds. So that's going to be the move for you for sure. A few other tips that I wish I would have known when I started this would be that, and then you're going to want Hateforge to have a really good roll on reduced rage cost of souls, and you're going to want to try and get some points in here so that your Vaal Lightning Strike rage cost goes from 15 all the way down to like 11 or 12. You know, that 3 or 4 rage per strike doesn't sound like a lot, but every 3 or 4 strikes you can cast an additional one if your cast is lower. It's like 20-30% more casts. It's kind of like a more multiplier, because you can get more out, if that makes any sense. But yeah, guys, that's it. If you want like the in-depth stuff of like the passives, the skills, the links, the gems, go watch his video. It's better. Go watch that, go learn that, and then just play with Light of the Meaning and a Progenesis, and get your Chaos Resistance where it's at a flat 40 to 50, and then up to 75 to 80 when this is used, and you'll be rocking and rolling. Oh, one more thing is you're gonna want to have your Progenesis used when you take a savage hit, because if you use Progenesis, when you cast Forbidden Right, you can't cast Vengeful Cry because you have too much Chaos Resistance. So you want to have it be when you take a savage hit. So you use it right there. It's procced. You have your War Cry for 10 seconds. You get like a 5-second buffer before you need to cast it again. So just keep it. Sometimes you might get randomly one shot. I have experience, so you don't die that much. I've been running T17s, rolled pretty roughly. But anyways, that's the workaround that I use for the build. Super fun build. I'll link all of his videos, his channel. All the credit goes to him. This is just a simple workaround that I used to play the build before I had all the currency to buy the stuff. Anyways, thanks for watching.